Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is the office hours for September 2021. And this is for the simplest marketing plan. And today I want to begin with a new idea that I've been thinking about. It's still relatively fresh, meaning a little bit raw. I will be sharing it in the follow-up email. So you can take notes if you want, but you don't have to worry about getting everything down because I will share the text if you're interested in it. But what I've been thinking about lately is the way that marketing and pricing are connected, number one, and how they kind of go on parallel tracks, and how you do it depends on what phase you are in your business. And so I've identified 3 phases that I want to just define. And then I'm going to actually, if I remember, take a poll and see who puts themselves in which phase. And then when we do the networking breakouts, you can talk about, the prompt will be to talk about which phase you are in and describe your version of the phase. So the big idea is that marketing and pricing are interconnected and running on parallel tracks during the different phases of your business. So the first phase I've identified is guessing. It's kind of like a sandwich, actually, because it starts with guessing and it ends with guessing. There are 3 phases. And the first one I'm calling guessing with fingers crossed, because when it comes to your niche, you're pretty much not sure yet. You're probably all over the place with your niche and who your people are. And your marketing is inconsistent and you're trying lots of different tools and strategies, and you're probably off the wagon more than you're on it. And you're trying your best to listen to the market, but you're not sure if what you hear is actually inside your head or outside your head. And in general, your marketing is more famine than feast, and it could be very up and down. Your services, everyone's asking for something different, or maybe no one's asking for anything at all. So it is still very all over the place. And your pricing is probably hourly, because people say, what is your hourly rate? And you don't know any better than to say, I don't work that way. So you're probably, with your first clients, pricing hourly. And you're probably, if it's project-based, actually, you're probably underestimating and leaving money on the table, but that's just the way it is when you start out. It really is. So don't worry too much about it. And your mindset is confused and scattered and frustrated because it doesn't feel like anything's working yet. And the danger in this phase is a sense of paralysis and frustration and discouragement. And what you're saying to yourself is, oh my God, will this ever work? And this phase sometimes takes years for people, but sometimes it's shorter. And it would be kind of interesting to talk about, if you're beyond this phase, how long it took you to get beyond this phase. And you can put it in the chat if you like. But the idea is that you can get through it quicker if you learn from every single experience and every single mistake. That's phase 1, guessing with fingers crossed. Phase 2, you're settling in and you're finding your place. And so your niche, you have a vague sense of who your people are and what they can afford. And your marketing is definitely getting more consistent, and you're kind of following the simplest marketing plan, but you're still not quite sure if it's working or what exactly is working, although something is starting to work. And your services are narrowing, definitely, and you're getting competent doing, for the most part, the things that people definitely need and are asking you for. And as a result, you are feeling more and more confident. And that extends into your pricing. And so maybe you're starting to develop packages for your pricing because you're narrowing your services. So it makes sense. You're doing the same things over and over. And in the money conversation, you can pretty much quote numbers, general numbers off the top of your head without worrying too much if you're going to scare anyone away. And your mindset is definitely getting clearer, although still kind of confused, but I would say less confused than not. You have definite glimpses and moments of clarity, and you can see the path in front of you. And of course, the danger in this situation, also in this phase, is to get into a rut, to try to hold on too tight to what you've got and what you're understanding, and especially into a pricing rut where you don't increase your prices. And so one of the solutions here is to just keep incrementally, little by little, with each new client, increasing your prices. And the thing that you're saying to yourself is that things are starting to make sense and this could actually work. That's phase 2. I'm calling it settling in and finding your place. And then phase 3, the last phase, is guessing again, but with confidence. And you're guessing to see what your potential is, to see how far you can take this, to see how far you can go with this business. And so your niche is really clear. You know exactly who your people are. As I say, you know exactly where to find them. You know what to say in order for them to trust you. And that is integrated into your message. And as a result, they see you as the go-to resource for the services that you offer. And all of that is very clear, which means that your marketing is clear and consistent and your pipeline is full, so full actually, that you're very selective about who you say yes to. And so you're getting much better at saying no and letting people go, and sometimes even referring them on to your competition because you have more work than you need and you are in a position to be generous with that work. And your services, you know exactly what you do and especially what you don't do. And you have a clear competence and the confidence that goes along with it. And you say no to everything else. Although sometimes you can say yes if it's a special situation or a special client or just a project that you feel like doing. You have all that flexibility, especially if it's trying something new. And when it comes to your pricing, at this point, you love the money conversation, maybe not as much as me, but you really are loving the money conversation. And that means you start high to see what the market will bear. And you're trying to see how high could I go? And with your pricing, you're maybe even testing what they call value-based pricing in these types of situations where you're seeing it's not at all about what it takes for me to do this thing. It's what is it worth to the client? And that's what they're going to pay for. And your mindset, there's an excitement and it's rooted in confidence and it's rooted in your experience. And you are just exploring and pushing the boundaries to say, again, what can I do with this? Let's see how far I can go. And there is a danger here also, and that is, and I've experienced this, to get a little too cocky. So you got to be careful about that. So those are my 3 phases. And now I created a little poll. So we're going to do a poll to see which phase do you see yourself in. And what it's looking like, I don't know if you can see this, but it's looking like actually is very interesting. A third, and a third. 32% in phase 1, 36% in phase 2, and 31% in phase 3. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Awesome.